Hey everyone, my name is Lindsay. Oh my god, I haven't filmed in like forever. Oh wow, it feels really weird just sitting here in front of you. But hello, happy new year, happy 2023. I'm saying this as we're like literally almost done with January, which I can't even believe that it's already the end of January. But hi, hello, beautiful people. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, I am Lindsay. I am disabled and chronically ill, and I also have a service dog, and I basically just vlog my life on here to raise awareness for my chronic illnesses and conditions, and just living with disabilities, invisible disabilities, life with a service dog, as well as being LGBTQ to my fiance. Yeah, I don't know, that's just a little bit about me. Today's video was inspired by true events. As a chronically ill person, as glowy as I might look right now and glam, which I haven't put myself together like this in I don't even know how long, probably since Thanksgiving, to be completely honest, because Christmas was really low-key. Maybe Christmas, I don't know. Bottom line, I haven't even touched my hair in years, so I'm proud of myself for getting cute today for today's video. But it is inspired because I just got out of a nasty flare. So as someone with chronic illness, it doesn't really matter what kind of chronic illness it is, there's always going to be flare-ups. And basically what that means is a flare-up is when your symptoms or the things that you experience because of your illness are amplified, are worse than normal borderline baseline symptoms, which of us, our baselines is like dealing with a lot already, but flares is just everything amplified. And a lot of times my really bad flares, especially if I can't get a hold of them or if I can't stop my vomiting, I will end up in the hospital. So flares are terrifying. As someone with chronic illness, you never really know when they're gonna hit. You never know what activity it is gonna be that pushes you over the edge and causes a flare. There's so many different things that can cause a flare. It really depends on your own body, like paying attention to what different things, whether it's a food, whether it's an activity, it can be stress, it can be so many different things, it can be a combination of things. So today's video is just my best tools for navigating a flare, as well as just like tips, tricks, advice for dealing with flares and flare-ups, because they're tough. And honestly, this past flare, I was literally bedridden for like 6 days, constantly nauseous. I could barely look at phone screens. I had to listen to music and shows and stuff because I could not physically look at anything. I was nauseous and just feeling horrible 24/7. And yeah, so now that I'm feeling so much better, I'm obviously on lots of medications to manage my day-to-day symptoms. I did my fluids today. I feel good. So I want to give you all tips, tricks, advice, tools, all for navigating a flare-up. I know you're probably like, holy crap, Lindsay's not wearing pink right now. Hey, I've still got a pink in my background and in my room where I am right now. If you're wondering where I got my shirt from, it's so sick. It is called Spoonie Things Boutique. Their new small business that just opened up, and they sent me these shirts and I'm obsessed with them. They have so many like other designs and stuff, and this is not the only shirt that I have, and I have more on the way, but this one just says everything hurts like 3 times, and I figured I wore this basically for most of my flare because it's just so comfy. If you dig their designs, you can use my code Lindsay10 for 10% off of your order. So get yourself some Spoonie merch if you love it as much as I do, which I love this. This is my favorite shirt, just that everything hurts, because that is flare life, and chronic illness life, like everything hurts. And that's just kind of how we live and function. So yeah, obsessed with this. The #1 tip that I have is to not fight it, because boy have I been there where I fought it, and I was like, nope, I'm still gonna do stuff. I have plans today, like I'm gonna do this stuff that I want to do. However, that is not a great idea, because that is probably only going to make your flare worse, and also probably increase the duration of your flare and your recovery period from that flare. So don't fight the flare, acknowledge it. Also, don't blame yourself, because we can't control it. We can't control when our bodies are literally not doing their jobs properly. Like, we have no control over that. Are there certain things that we can sometimes do to manage or help mitigate our symptoms? Yes. Do we ever get them to go away? No. So we can't blame ourselves for when they decide to act up, flare up. Don't blame yourself for your flare because it's not your fault. It's your body's fault. I'm very hyped. I'm very excited to be here filming this video for you all. I've missed talking to a camera. It's therapeutic for me, I swear. Don't blame yourself because it's not your fault, and don't let anyone else tell you otherwise. Something else that is also helpful is just asking for other people's help. This could be simply reaching out to a friend. Honestly, Autumn is the one who got me through this flare. Living with my fiance, if you don't know, I have a fiance named Autumn, the love of my life, and can't wait to marry her. Yeah, no, she literally helped me through this whole flare with my constantly. She's always helping. She's literally the best fiance ever, and I'm so thankful and grateful for her. It's okay to ask other people for help, especially when you have such a intense medical routine like I do, between meds, my saline infusions I do every day, my Zofrans that I push through my PICC line throughout the day, my Keppra that I do in the morning and the night, my TPN that runs overnight. Being chronically ill is a full-time job. It really, really is. So it's okay to ask other people for help. Oh, boy, do I have thoughts about that. Y'all have no idea the context of why that makes me angry. I'm just gonna say service dog training, and that's all that I'm gonna say. And you'll get to hear a little bit more about how I'm feeling about all of that in my Q&A video, which is coming probably after this one because this one's gonna be hopefully easier to edit. But yes, ask other people for help if you need it. It's okay, you don't need to feel bad for it. It'll honestly help you because the less that you can have to do while you're flaring and struggling and dealing with all of your stuff at the same time, the better. Postpone anything not essential, anything that is not like, okay, I need to get this done now, unless it's something that really needs to be of a timely manner. Postpone it, push it back. Even if that's like a project at work or school, like communicate with your teachers, professors. Just have open communication and be like, look, I'm really struggling here. If I push myself, I could end up in the hospital. That is a lot of our reality. Like when we don't rest, when we don't recover, when we don't take the time to like recuperate and like let the flare run its course, then it'll just continue to push ourselves and make everything just that much worse. Postpone anything that is not essential. Have open communication with the people around you. If you are needing to push deadlines or anything like that. Something that has personally really helped me over time is just kind of like reminding yourself that this flare isn't permanent. This flare isn't gonna last forever, even though it literally feels like it. This flare had me crying to my mother, just crying. She was like, is there anything I can get you? And I literally, oh God, I'm gonna cry. I said a new body, one that works. Ooh, I was not planning on getting emotional. What? Put it away. Just remind yourself that your flare is not permanent. It is not going to last forever. It is gonna go away. It's gonna ease up, it's gonna resolve, and it's gonna feel good when it does. I literally got teary-eyed over that answer. Wow, okay. Like I said, was not my intention at all in this video. Chronic illnesses we're oftentimes going to live with for the rest of our lives in one form or another. There can be periods where you're kind of like okay with life, and then there's going to be periods where it's like everything that could go wrong is going wrong. This too shall pass. And it's hard, I feel like, because a lot of times it's like, yeah, this will pass, but it's like, when is the next one gonna hit again? But I also feel like sometimes you gotta push yourself to try to distract yourself, which this is my next tip, is to find distractions for yourself. Take your mind off of everything you're dealing with. I know sometimes when I'm flaring, all I can do is just lay there and exist, but a lot of times I'll throw on music or a podcast or something that I can just listen to, because even just having a conversation with someone, like just talking or distracting yourself in some form or another, even if it's just for a few minutes, it can really take a big load off when you just don't have to think about how horrible you're feeling and all of the symptoms that you're dealing with and going through. It's nice to just distract yourself or to get to think about something else for a few minutes. Find a distraction, take your mind off of it. Rest is gonna be your best friend. You definitely want to rest as much as possible when you are flaring. I know that occasionally during a flare, if I'm like laying in one position for too long, I'll get more issues. So it can be good to have a few places set up where you can kind of move, but it's not gonna really hurt you in that, if that makes sense. Sometimes I can't just lay in bed. I have to go sit on the couch sitting up. Rest is gonna be your best friend because rest is what helps your body to heal and recover and do what it needs to do to help you feel better. And you deserve that rest, especially fighting your own damn bodies every day. It's a lot of work. Like I said, it's a full-time job. Sometimes it can be nice to get some fresh air. I personally, I don't do really good in the cold, and where I am in Maryland right now, it's really cold. So I'll sit in our greenhouse where it's warmer, but it's still outside and I can see the sun and I can get fresh air and there's lots of plants. Just getting some fresh air during a flare can be super refreshing. Obviously don't prioritize it. If you can't even leave your bed that day, then focus on that, stay in bed and recover. But while you're recovering, sometimes I just find that fresh air can be super helpful. Even just mentally, just for some mental clarity, just breath of fresh air can help a lot. Make sure that you are keeping up with your medications to the best of your ability. I have gastroparesis. This is like near impossible for me. That is why I do my seizure medications through my PICC line, through IV, because my medications are very, very unreliable, because when I flare, I am throwing up, and obviously I'm not going to be taking pills with an empty stomach just to throw them up. So take this one with a grain of salt. If you could take your medications, take them. Honestly, a lot of times it'll feel better. I have a G-tube as well for my gastroparesis, and so I would always drain because I always have a lot of excess bile when I'm flaring heavy. Like, my bile is a dark green, and there is so much excess of it, and it's constantly producing. It's absolutely insane. Literally, when I'm flaring and feeling worse, it's because I have so much bile in my body because I have no gallbladder. Anyway, besides the point, take your medications if you can, because they honestly can help. I have a lot of motility type of medications. I also have a crap ton of nausea medications, which I do have to force myself to take during flares, but medications can sometimes help you to get out of the flare as well. Talk to your doctor. Obviously only take and do stuff as instructed by your doctor, but it's always good to keep up with your medications if it's possible, but also don't get too hard on yourself. If you're like me and you're literally vomiting your lungs out and you're like, I can't take any pills, like, it's okay. It's okay. That's why I love my IV meds, because I can still push IV Zofran, do my seizure meds, and get fluids. I'm like, I'm Gucci, and I get my nutrition through TPN. So I can't believe this is my 3rd year on TPN. I don't know how I feel about that, because this was supposed to be like a short-term thing, and it's been 2 years, and this is the 3rd year, 2023. So if you don't know what TPN is, it's total parental nutrition. It also goes through my PICC line. Everything goes through my PICC line, if you have not figured that out yet. Something else that I highly recommend when dealing with a flare is to use your extra mobility aids if you need them, so if you have them and if they help. So I know that when I'm flaring more, since Simon came home, I have not had to use my walker. However, during this flare, there was one day where I was like, okay, I really want to get out of the house, but I really don't have the energy to like exist, stand, walk around, like even with my service dog. So I used my walker. I used my walker and my service dog. So there's different mobility aids. A lot of people have dynamic disabilities. That's what I have. They're gonna range on symptoms day to day, like what I'm feeling each day, how I'm struggling each day. You literally never know. If you have a mobility aid that really helps you, feel free / try to use it when you're on that flare to help if you decide to do anything, go anywhere. Use that additional mobility aid if you have it at your disposal. Like I said, I'm normally just have my service dog now, but I used him in my walker for the first time, which was good practice for him to learn how to walk with my walker. But yeah, it was nice because it also gave me an easy place to sit, because I constantly sat every few seconds because Simon was also constantly alerting. He was like, why are we out? Why? Your body does not like this. Some things that help me during flares are heating pads or ice packs. We have these little things right on here, and these are super helpful. We got them on Amazon, and it's a 2-pack, so we both kind of have one. And you can either throw this in the microwave and it works as like a little personal heat pack, or you can throw it in the freezer and use it as an ice pack. So It's literally 2-in-1, whatever you need, whether you need heat or ice. Throw it in the microwave, throw it in the freezer, boom. Especially in the winter, I love heat because having my EDS joints, they get really painful, and when it's cold, it amplifies everything. My knee pain, my back pain, like cold weather just, my body doesn't like it. So heat packs are a go-to when I'm flaring. Something that I do, I don't know if you can tell, I've got a lot of pillows behind me, but I have a wedge that I sleep with. So I sleep on an incline, and this can really help with a few things. It helps with my POTS because I'm not sitting completely from flat to going upward, because that's just disaster for me. So sleeping at an angle, it's easier for me to get up basically. It also helps with any reflux that I have or anything that I had in my system. If I'm flat, it's more likely to come up, cause me issues, pain, spasms, whatever it may be. So sleeping on an incline can sometimes to prevent some of those things and also make it easier for you to get up if you do need to run to the bathroom or something. Make sure that you stay as hydrated as you possibly can. One of the reasons I'm so thankful for my daily saline infusions, one, it helps to keep my POTS under control. Two, I literally physically can't drink the amount of water that I need as a person with POTS, because people with POTS are supposed to have more sodium intake and more fluid intake. And because of my gastroparesis, I can barely have food in my stomach, let alone medications, let alone a crap ton of water and salt. Like, my body can't handle that. So my saline infusions keep my body hydrated, which really, really helps me get to a flare. I will a lot of times connect to fluids, do 2 bags in a day, like, and just keep it on slow maintenance and just constantly stay hooked up so that I can stay hydrated, especially when I'm at that period where I'm literally unable to eat, drink, take pills, like anything. When I'm that bad, it's important to stay hydrated. But also even just tiny little sips. Juices can be good with like a little sugar in them. Little sips are better than nothing. Also, don't push yourself, because I know sometimes when you put anything in your body and you're that flary, because my flares are gastroparesis, POTS, EDS, SMAS, cyclic vomiting related, seizure related, etc. This is all my conditions and it kept growing. Anyway, okay, moving on. Something that can be helpful is to keep a journal of your symptoms, how you're feeling. We've been trying to track my flares because it really helps if you're like, okay, I was flaring for this week, or I threw up here and I didn't throw up in this flare, but then I threw up on this one. It's really helpful for your doctors when you keep track of your symptoms, your flares, your sleep habits, your dietary habits. The more information that you have for your doctors, the more that they can hopefully help you. It's really good to unplug when you're flaring. I find that whenever I am really struggling flare-wise, I can't look at screens. I cannot look at a computer screen, a television, an iPad. I don't have an iPad, but my phone. I really can't look at anything. So like I said, a lot of times we'll throw on music. Something else you can do is you can color. You can do arts and crafts. Just something that where your eyes aren't on a screen. It's just kind of like IRL in real life, you know? Something else that I find super, super helpful when I'm in a flare is talking to other Spoonie friends, because it can be so helpful and validating when you talk to someone who knows what you're going through, who goes through it themselves. Like, it's very, very helpful when I get to talk to my Spoonie friends and I'm flaring. A lot of times we'll send voice memos to each other because I can't necessarily text or retext, or I'll voice text to people. But voice memos are a great way to still communicate, or phone calls. I know it sounds cliche, or like, because a lot of times I'll FaceTime my friends because I want to like see their faces. But during a flare, I can't really look at anything anyway. So talking to Spoonie friends, if and when you can be super helpful, very therapeutic. Personally, my friend Tori, I call her my Spoonie bestie twin because we have such similar issues. We're literally freaking twins, and she's actually coming to visit me with her boyfriend and her service dog Alfie, who was at training with Simon. It was actually Simon's best friend, like, growing up, because they're both from the same program. Texted Tori like random days of this flare, just random stuff, and it's so nice talking to people who get it when you're feeling so horrible. It's like, yes, you are not alone. Flares are the worst. Spoonie friends can really help a lot. My friend Carmen, I've been talking to a lot as well about like during flares, and it can just really help to have that support of people who also go through the same thing and know how tough it is. Make sure that you don't overwork yourself during a flare. I think that kind of like speaks for itself. Try not to be too hard on yourself. Give your body the time, the relaxation, the recuperation that it needs in order to recover and have you bounce back from the flare itself. So give yourself grace. Be patient with yourself, be kind to yourself. You're literally dealing with a lot and not everyone realizes it because a smile can add a lot and you never know what people are dealing with behind closed doors. If you are fine with screens, television, movies, TV shows, YouTube videos, like watch to your heart's content. Helpful during a flare to keep your mind busy, distracted. I love to constantly have a show running so that my brain can't just spiral. Keeps your brain distracted from focusing on everything that you're dealing with. But cozy blankets are a must. Fuzzy socks are great. Anything cozy, comfy. I love sweatpants. Well, honestly, I love not wearing pants at all, period. To be completely honest, like I never wear pants in my house, like especially since I got that like sweater blanket thing that I can wear all over the house and it goes all the way like to my feet. So no one can tell if I'm even wearing pants or not. I always make sure that I have loose waistbands in my underwear and the pants that I'm wearing when I'm flaring, because if I have leggings or something tight on my stomach when I'm flaring, it's only going to make me 10,000 times more nauseous and like unable to exist. So I highly recommend loose, comfy Spoonie merch if you have it, but just loose, comfy clothes, comfy blankets, comfy socks, just everything comfy to try and make yourself as comfortable as possible while you're dealing with all of these like uncomfortable symptoms. All right, everyone, well, that's it for today's video. I really hope that you enjoyed it. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up if you liked it. Being that it's 2023 and a new year, make sure that you comment down below any video requests. Tell me, I'm curious, what do you want to see more of this year? What type of videos do you want to see? What type of content do you want from me? Let me know. I'd love to hear about it. If you also have any additional tips, tricks, advice for beating a flare, coping with it, life hacks, life tips in general, feel free to comment those below as well. And don't forget to stop what you're doing and subscribe to join the family. And don't forget to turn on that bell so that you know whenever I upload. Follow me on Instagram and TikTok if you don't already at chronically.lindsay. It's the same on every platform officially. I'm so happy to say it. At least the ones that I'm promoting to you all, which is YouTube and TikTok and Instagram at chronically.lindsay. Love you. But that is it for this video. I really hope that you enjoyed it. I hope it was helpful. If you are going through a flare right now, have been through a flare ever, I love you. I'm sending you all of the spoons and love, whether you're dealing with one right now or have ever. I'm just sending you all the kisses, all the spoons, and all the love that I have. I love you all so much. I will see you in my next one.